Hello everyone, today we are going to make this cute little I love you, you're so sweet card with, it could be for anything, for a birthday, for a hello, for a BFF kind of thing, using the cute Birdies stamp set now available from CC Designs. So also the stencil, the clouds and grasses stencil is available. The cool thing is that I realized that I needed something. I wanted to have little birdhouses for my cute little birdies. So I'm using this stencil. There is a section, there is one of the edges that are meant, I believe, for like water. But I'm like, you know what? If we turn them upside down, they look just like perfect scallops, just like shingles on a roof. I wanted to use that for the roof of my little birdie houses. Now, what I used was the stamp from Lawn Fawn, which is one of the lighter brown ones. I used the dough ink pad, and I just went ahead and used my distressing tool to add little scallops throughout the whole thing. Now I went down like almost a 1/4 inch every single one, and I used these 2 strips of heavyweight cardstock, which I used to make these stencils. Now you can keep the stencil in the same way going down, or you can move it left and right. Either way, it adds this cute little shingle effect for the paper. Now, I did do it upside down as we normally would from like the other way around, but I felt that this was easier for me to keep the look of the shingles as I was doing it, and that way just easily slip down the stencil going down. Once I was done with it, I did go ahead and whatever ink was left on the distressing tool, just kind of filled in the white spaces of the shingles, just to make sure that it's all one color. I didn't want to have many of the white spaces. Now I do have the sheet on the left, the paper on the left, to do I wanted to do like shiplap kind of lines, which I wanted to do with a straight edge. And see right here, I'm just using a little bit of ink to fill in everything to make sure that everything has that sweet, soft, brownish color of the dough ink pad from Lawn Fawn. You'll see a little bit closer up. And so now I flipped it up so you can see this is how I'm going to die cut the roofs. So with the siding of the little birdhouse, because I wanted to look like an actual birdhouse, I'm just using this Copic multiliner, and I'm measuring it down every 1/4 inch. As you can see, the paper was aligned at the top line of one of my cut mats, and then I just, with this Ranger ruler, I just went down and measured it down every 1/4 inch, because each little line is a 1/4 an inch, which was super easy. I was just going down, straight down every 1/4. I didn't want to have this super strong line, because I wanted it to look like shingling, not shingling, like siding or shiplap. And then I went ahead with the Hippo ink pad with just a little bit of ink on my distressing tool, just to kind of give it a little bit of shading around the whole thing, to give it look more like an aged look to go along with the shingles, because I didn't want it to be just perfectly white on the side of the birdhouses. Also, I wanted to let you guys know I just recently got braces, so talking has been a little weird, to the point that someone asked me the other day, what was I eating while I was talking on the video? I'm not eating anything. I'm not chewing gum or anything like that. It's just that I am still, and can you tell me my heavy breathing? Oh my goodness. I'm still getting used to my braces, so I do apologize. I know, I'm like super old, but I just figured why not at this point. Now, this is using the other side of this is the cloud side of the stencil. As you can see, if you move it back and forth a little bit, you get a whole different look. And I like how these clouds aren't going straight across. They dip down, they go up, they go down. But you can also angle the stencil to give yourself a different look. I'm just going downwards with the Mermaid ink from Lawn Fawn, which is one of my favorite ink colors to use in distressing in this blue. And once again, once I'm done, I take whatever ink is left to kind of fill in the coloring. You already have the darker edges from the stencil, but I want to give it a nice blue hue as opposed to just white. After that is done, I'm just cleaning it off with the baby wipe, and then I'm going to flip it around. There are 2 edges that have grasses. One has a straight line, and one has more of a hillside. So I used that one, but I did, again, move it left and right. I use, ironically, freshly cut grass. These are the colors that I tend to use the most when I'm doing any kind of coloring, so I really need to explore more. But here I am, just adding it to the bottom. I flipped over the paper, so it's much easier for me to do with the angle of the inking with the little ink dauber. So here you can see I have the dark edges, and then I just go in with whatever ink is left on my distressing tool, just to kind of fill in the coloring. Now, I felt that the middle line wasn't dark enough. I felt like it wasn't defined enough. So I went ahead and just aligned my stencil right back up, and I did it again just to give it a nice coloring for that. And again, always important, wipe off your stencils, stick them in water, whatever it is that you want to use, whatever works for you. I just wipe them down as fast as I can. Now, this panel, I'm going to make an A2 size card. This panel originally was 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I am just cutting it down to 4 by 5 1/4. So I have a cute little white frame on the background of my card, because I can have this just the full front of the card, but I feel when you have a frame on it, it just kind of makes it stand out a little bit more. So here's my card base with some heavyweight cardstock. It is cut at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, just scored at 5 1/2. I'm sorry, 4 1/4 by 11, and then scored at 5 1/2 right there at the top. Now I'm just layering, and see that little frame, I feel like the frame, just the white outside border of it, kind of makes the actual background pop even more, as opposed to just fading out into the edges. So once again, I'm using my ATG gun just to get some adhesive on here to lay down the main layer. Now once that is set up, I'm going to go ahead and bring in some of the elements. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Here are the birdies. Now I made 2 little birdhouses, and I realized that what I didn't show is how I cut the birdhouses. I used the actual die. It's the castle die from CC Designs, which of course I will link in the description. And this is for one of the towers, one of the turrets, and I just use it to make the birdhouses. It was super, super easy. And then for the candy wrapper die, I used the scallop circle for the little hole for the birdhouse. I stamped the Love You Sentiment stamp set along with your tweet from the actual Cute Birdie stamp set on just white cardstock, and I'm sitting here trying to cut it down to banners and to get them as close as I can to the letters, to the words, so it doesn't cover a lot of the space on my card, because it did take me a lot of work to stencil that puppy. Now, if you want to see a separate video of how I made the little birdhouses, just let me know. Leave me a note in the description, leave me a little message, and I will show you that. I didn't realize that after the fact, I didn't record that completely. So that is completely my mistake. So if you want to see that, let me know, and I will show you how I made those cute, cute little birdhouses. Or if anything, I might do just a quick little sped up video for Instagram or something. I don't know. But here I am just cutting down the word banners again, so I can, of course, fishtail them. I can't live without a fishtail banner. I think like 99.99% of my projects have fishtail banners. So go figure, right? Ironically, I don't have any fishtail banner dies. Maybe I need to work on that, right? So I'm always having to cut them and measure them and whatnot with my cutter, and my guillotine cutter, and I always just tend to figure it out. I really need to see which ones have. I think CC Designs has some fishtail banner dies, so I'm gonna have to get that. Here I am just lining it up. Like I said, it's super tricky sometimes, hence why I need those banner dies. I'm gonna have to put in an order for those. But here I'm just edging this one in the corner with the little fishtail, and they're going to go in separate directions. I think that way one is flowing from the left to the right, and then the other one from the right to the left, to kind of make your eye go in different locations of the card. So here I am. I'm just creating a whole word sentiment, because I feel that if you just put love you, it's cute, but just adding a little bit something to it gives it a little bit extra bit of panache. Now I'm just adding of course, a mounting foam, because the 3M mounting foam I cannot live without. I don't know what it is. I think it's just much easier just for me to whip this out and use it. I used to use the Fun Foam, which I need to get back to it because I have tons of it, and I just haven't done it, and I really need to. I really, really need to. But here I am just adding little 3M mounting foam to the back of my little banners, because I want to place them down first, so then I can go in and actually place the centerpieces of the card, which are my cute birdies, using the Cute Birdie stamp set. And like I said, for the birdhouses, I did use the castle die from CC Designs, and of course those links will be in the description and also on my blog, so you guys can go check them out. Here I'm actually setting up, so I cut 2 of those turret bases for me to make the birdhouses. And here I'm just going to give it a little bit of dimension. So the one of the part of the front of the birdhouse with the little hole is going to be having a little bit more of a dimension, so you can see that it's actually a birdhouse, not just like a little turret with a hole in it, because I wanted to have it be more dimensional for the little birdies. Why? Because who doesn't like a cute little birdhouse? So, and these were super easy to make, and this is, see, you can see the lines that I made with going down every 1/4 of an inch. Now I'm just going to add the top of this little castle tower, or the to my little birdhouse. And like I said, this went from a castle tower to a little birdhouse. I ended up just gluing it with some tacky glue, some Scotch tacky glue, and I went ahead and also double-sided the top of the birdhouse, because I realized, oh, this might just kind of look funny, but I wanted to give it a whole dimension for its own little birdhouse. Now, as you'll see at the end on the pictures, there is a little base. I went ahead and from the same castle die, there was a little rectangle, and I just used that for the stem, just to give the birdhouse a stem. I didn't want to give it a too big of a stem. Now here I am just figuring out how I'm going to place the little cute birdies from the stamp set. Like I said, these all released today. Today is the release date for... No, I'm sorry. No, these are already in the shop. I have my dates mixed up. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going ahead and add this down there with wet glue. I was going to add more dimensionals, but it already has dimensionals to give the little house its shape. I didn't want that to overshadow my cute little birdies that I colored with all of my Copics in BG colors, because I was like, you know, it's a cute idea of bluebirds, but I didn't want to do just dark bluebirds, and I wanted to do these little aqua birds. And this one has this cute little flower on her head, and she's just, you know, they're just talking to each other, and that hence the love you, you're so tweet. I'm adding tons of dimensions on these puppies because I wanted them to really stand out along with the birdhouse, because the birdhouse is a lot bigger than them, so I felt that it was going to overshadow my little birdies. But see, there's tons of mounting foam. I really need to cut back on that mounting foam, you guys. But let me know what you would think. Like I said, these products are already in the CC Design shop. I'm sorry for the voiceover, but I realized after the fact that I was watching a movie. I was listening to a movie or some comedian or something like that on Netflix, and I wanted to have do this little tutorial, but I was going to have to do a voiceover. So again, I apologize for the bracelets, you guys, but it does sound like that. Hopefully I can get more used to them as the time comes. If not, I'm going to sound like Sylvester the cat doing voiceovers. Not sure if that's going to be a fun thing to do. But that's what happens. Now I'm just adding these cute little butterflies also from the stamp set with a little bit of mounting foam throughout the card, just to give it a little bit of a flowy, airy look, and it'll draw your eye up to the sentiment and also to the clouds. So again, you guys, thank you so much for stopping by, and I will talk to you guys soon, hopefully not as Sylvester the cat. So have a good time. Go check. Oh, by the way, look, these are my new stickers for my website, and I just wanted to add this to the back of the card. So thank you guys, and bye everyone.